Well, what's happening to our world today is no laughing matter. What's happening in the United States is absolutely despicable. How can human minds get so lost? I've forgotten that love really is the answer. That carries a need to be respectful of the potential of people. You can't respect the behaviors of people all the time. And you can't respect the character of people all the time. But you can see the infant and the child in them if you look carefully. And that's never unlovable. Never. That means punishment is not the way to go. Treatment is what we need, and better communication inside ourselves and between ourselves. Yeah, I love to sing in the spirit. Yeah. Can an atheist do that? Yeah. Yeah. Always makes me feel good. Mm. Being creative with sound is it's a good thing to do. Yeah. Really helps the mood sometimes. And you don't have to know the words because there are none. You're just making them up. Yeah. I like you, probably. I'm in shock at what has happened to our country here in the United States and what's looming on the horizon in Canada and what's lurking in the dark recesses of Europe. Will we be enough to withstand the oligarchies and dictatorships that threaten as major powers democracy in our world? Democracy is necessary. It's a sign of trust. And trust only grows when you have forms of empathy, empathetic love communicated and relied upon. There's a new channel where our team's considering launching, which the emphasis of this channel is on loving communication within you, within yourself and between yourself and others, and how that relates to politics. And the emphasis is on that kind of communication. But politics is also part of how we communicate. I'd like to tell you, um, and if you don't vote, you still voted. You know, if you think that there's only a choice between two evils, one greater and one lesser, when you didn't vote, you helped the greater, which you thought was the greater evil, to come to power. So sit on your hands, tell yourself you didn't vote, but you did, really. Not formally, but you had a voice in politics. And that voice was against what you would have done had you voted. You did just the opposite of the choice you would have made. Think about it. So, human rights are all hanging on democracy. And democracy needs trust and love. So, living communications are important. And the philosophy of this channel is to promote the understanding of that primarily. Um, and the other channel is going to emphasize politics more and a kind of Lakoff inspired approach. So be on the lookout. We may create another channel. We kind of have one, but we haven't decided to really back it and launch it. That's yet to be decided. So, what is your opinion? Should we take a tactic that's more strongly political in this trying times? I think we need both. So, yeah, be on the lookout. Spirituality and spiritual intelligence are really what guides both channels, or will, if we create a second. And spiritual intelligence is understanding how empathy and forms of it, objective, creative, and compassionate, um, work together to build trust and protect democracy and help people to be truly free. And to be truly free means the freedom to give and receive love. Sometimes the only gift of love you have is say thank you. So for all of you who have subscribed and who I hope will subscribe in the future, thank you. And please be a part of the resistance to evil, that which is against the love flow and the trust building that we need to preserve our species. This is a very important thing to think about and act upon. Don't stress yourself out too much. Do what you can and know that that's great. That's wonderful. If everybody did that, we would save humanity. We might survive to send some version of ourselves or something to the stars. Maybe have colonies living between the stars, which would, if we could pull that off, would be a much safer situation in some ways. But that'd be quite a feat. Um, yeah, when I say safer, and some of you are gonna laugh about that because in the middle of cold space, how could you manage that? It's almost instant death. But yeah, I think that we will eventually, if we survive our hatefulness and our fears, we will live in colonies in space. I think it's possible. And of course, those would have to probably recharge every now and then from a nearby star or something. But whatever. We'll see what the future holds. But since everything dies, and since we don't live forever, let's make the moment count. Love really is the answer in politics and everything else in life. And I hope that we can learn to be a part of the love flow, build a trust that keeps away oligarchy and fascism and one party rules. Yeah, yeah. Good job ahead of us. We need a better Republican Party. Yeah, we don't need just one party. We need choices. We at least need two. But that ain't gonna happen as long as the parties are bought. Yeah, it's something we got to work around. Money is not voice. That's tippy toeing to oligarchy. Now we're in a mad rush toward it, I think. So be on the lookout. We might launch another channel. The great Mike Rollins and Mitch Sotelo and I think Alyssa will come along for that ride too. These are these are team members we have now. We have another and some who've been invited, and we hope to do a better job as we go. And your comments are important. You know, give your critiques. Your advices. We're all ears. I had a fellow who never had much nice to say to me. And he wanted to tell me, in his words, what I'd make a good one. And I told him I didn't want to hear it. And he says, no, no, let me tell you. And I says, oh, go ahead. And he says, I don't get this wrong now. Don't get this wrong. But with those ears and that nose, you'd make a good clown. I mean, don't get this wrong. You'd make a good clown. You really would. So, did I miss my calling? Anyway, it's a little late now. Yeah. So, I hope you've enjoyed this crazy video. And my wandering mind. The kids tolerate it somewhat. Anyhow, remember, you're not just in a world of wonder, you're part of it. So, till next time, keep the love flow going.